Hello! Wait, hold on. Let's see. Hello! That's better. So, yesterday we looked at orthographic drawings. Now, orthographic, straight pictures. And our whole challenge is that we are trying to take an object that's three-dimensional and drawn in an isometric view, 3D like this, and turn it into straight pictures. We have the front, which you can see here. Just like that. That's good. That's a front view. We have our top view. And then we have our side view. The object always turns so that the face, the front, is facing that front view. So I got my top, I got my front, and I got my side. And each time I turn it, it's rotating towards the front view. Let's see what this looks like on paper, because we're also trying to understand how the diagrams give us measurements. For the purposes of today, we will be using boxes as our unit of measurement. And da-na-na-na, we have a drawing that shows us our object in real life. Now, this is isometric perspective. The front of the object is green. The side is orange. And the top is plain wood. There are three dimensions that we have in our orthographic drawings that we have to show, and it's even there are three dimensions in a 3D environment. You have height, which is how tall something is, width, which is how wide it is, and depth, which is how deep the object goes. In this diagram, I have set up a bunch of measurements, and these are little teeny tiny arrowheads. And they point to these lines that match up with the object. Following these lines, I can see height is this direction. So this is a height of 2 blocks, or 2 squares. That's our unit today. This goes this way, so it's a depth of 2 squares. Then we have a height of 2 squares, a depth of 2 squares, and then we go into width. Width goes this way. It's 6 squares. I'm going to now do this on graphing paper, and you should join me. So the first step, I like to start with the front of the object. Looking at my isometric view of the real object, the front is going to be anything with width and height, straight up and down. I'm going to turn this to the front view. This is what my front view should represent. It's what it should look like. It's going to be a square on the paper. So to do this, here's my diagram. I'm going to start in the bottom left portion of my page. Let's do this, because this is where the front view goes. Now, looking at my diagram, I have to identify width and height, because if you're looking at the front of the object, you can see how wide it is and how tall it is. So I'll begin at this. I'm going to start at this back left corner, this bottom left corner. So I choose a point, and I'm going to count 6 boxes wide. Now, I'm just going to do this freehand. You could use a ruler. We've started our front view. Now, I'm going to look at my diagram and find a height. So this green area is the front. My height is 2, because the lines with the arrows are going up and down. That shows height. So the height for my first rectangle is 2 boxes. Now this is the same width as this. So even though it's higher up, the object is just as wide at the bottom as it is at the top. I'll now continue by making a 6-box wide line. Now I've finished this. Wait a minute, there's a gap. What do I do? I don't know what to do. No, we're okay, because a front view only shows height and width. We do not show depth in a front view. You can't see how deep this goes when you look at the front. You can only see how wide and how tall. So I can follow the depth to get to my next height or width line. So now that I've got this bottom rectangle, which matches this one, I'm going to use this corner and follow the depth to get to my next height and width. The width of this rectangle is 6. Oh, lucky me! I already have a width line that's 6 boxes wide. From that same corner, I can do a height line, and the height line is 2. So 2 boxes tall. From this corner, I can write height and width. There's no height. There is a depth, but I don't do depth. I'm going to do width. So the width of this line is the same as the width of this line. It's 6 boxes. I'm going to complete my 6 boxes. So far, so good. Now we're going to do the side view. Now, in the front view, the green, height, we can see height and we can see width. From the side view, can I see height? Yes, the height is here. It's also here. It's also here. Can I see width? Is there any green? Nah, there's no green, so we don't see the width in a side view. But we do see depth, so any depth lines are going to show up in our side view. Now I have to pay special attention to line up my drawings. So from the same line, I'm going to pick a point to begin. When I compare the front to the side, this front corner is shared. See that? So here we got a front. There's that corner. Then I turn it. Same corner. Now I'm going to draw the side. Now based on the diagram, the height is the same here as it is here. You can just follow the line and it follows that grid. So it's 2 blocks high. Now, I can't see width, so from here, I can do a width line or a depth line. I'm going to continue with a depth line. The depth here is the same as the depth here, 2 blocks. Let's continue this staircase. From this point, which is right here, we can go width or height. Now, since it's a side view, I can only do height or depth. So no width. We're going to go up for height, which is the same as, this part, 2. We're now here. Using my drawing, I see the depth is 2. I'm going to draw a depth of 2. Now we're at the back. And the back is we're at this, here, from our drawing, we're at this top corner. And that top corner has a width line and a height line. I can only draw height and depth, so I'm going to do the height line 4 boxes. We're almost there. We're at the bottom. And good news, I have this point already. And I have this point already. All I have to do is connect the dots. And it has a depth of 4. I didn't write that. The depth is 4. At this point, we've got our object. We got our front view completed, just like this, because I can see this edge. That's why we got it in the middle. We've got our side view. Now we need to do our top view. To find the top view, take the front object and turn the front to face the front view. This is what we should be left with. If you want to try this on your own, you can pause the video and try it, but I'm going to continue with that now. The top view does not show any height. You can't see how tall the object is from this view. It does show how deep it goes and how wide it is. So I'm going to line up my view and start with a front corner. This point is going to represent this corner. The width is the same as the front view. So as a cheat code, I can follow this line up because the width is the same. Alternatively, the width is 6. So I can just measure 6 boxes. Almost there. Few more lines left. Now I can only see depth and width from the top of the object. So from this point, I've got this point of the top showing. From this point, I can see a depth line. I can do depth in my front view. So from this point, which is this one, I'm going to draw 2 boxes deep. Following here, if I look down, I do see this edge. So I'm going to follow this line and do a width line, 6. My width is 6 boxes. So from this point, I can see this. I don't see height. I can draw a depth line from this white part of the picture, this top portion, to close it off. The depth is 2. And now we're almost there. We need this back rectangle, which is in the top. Well, the depth is here, and it's 2 boxes. Now we're here, because I followed the depth 2 boxes. We can now draw a width of 6 boxes. And all that leaves is a depth line, which is the same as this one, 2 boxes. This is how you take an isometric object and turn it into a front, I'll put it next to it, a front view, a side view, and a top view.